What's going on, guys? Here we are today, back at the range after being at SHOT Show. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that my camera broke. Of course, the best time for it to break would be at SHOT Show. So here we are, first video on the new setup. Should be much better quality than the one before. That being said, here we go. I'm excited to get into this one. We are talking about the 416, but an adjustable gas block. All right, so you're probably saying to yourself, Steve, why in the world are you putting an adjustable gas block on this? You had this thing set up, it's running like a top with the original gas block that was tuned to be set up for an 11-inch barrel. And you're right, it runs perfectly with a can and without a can, especially with the flow-through Velos that I got on there now. It just really, really runs. So why mess with it? Well, one, I'm a glutton for punishment, but two, because the whole point of this build was to be that updated, modern CAG gun. So the A5s, the 416A5 was not a thing back when they just did the regular 416, 416D, didn't have the adjustable gas block, didn't have a lot of the features that the A5 did. So when I built this, I didn't want the ambidextrous, everything that they had and all that. I didn't need that, didn't care for that. But as you know, and I'll link the video series above, I wanted to make this a modern day CAG gun, how they would have it set up, or maybe how I think they would have it set up, if it was possible back then in the mid-2000s or so. What we got here is a Nefarious A5 style adjustable gas block. This is brought to you by Black Ops Defense. So Black Ops Defense is listing these. You can get them from Black Ops Defense, and from my understanding, they do them in small batches. So they get these in, they get a handful at a time, they sell them, and it's a lead time before they get more of these adjustable A5 style gas blocks back in again. So I picked one up, and what we're doing here today is getting this thing tuned in. I'm going to go over all the details about it and just see how it runs, and hopefully it works as advertised. And maybe you guys, if you've built a 416 gun, a clone gun, maybe you want to upgrade to the adjustable gas block. Maybe you want to go that route. So let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's do some shooting. All right, so here is the old original 416D vented gas block that came on the MR556. And this is the kit that you get when you buy it from Black Ops. You get a bunch of directions here. It's pretty simple. You get this screwdriver and a built-in 3 Newton-meter torque wrench to make sure you're down to spec. And why do you need that? Well, it comes with some anti-seize. It comes with these different size screws. So these are color-coded per the directions on what size vent hole you need for the setup. Now, what you're supposed to do is shoot this without the silencer on in no silencer mode, which is the N position, and then swap out these vent holes to the size you need to make it run reliably and lock open on the last round. So they go from a range of size all the way from 0.7 to 1.6 millimeters. So my understanding is the original 416D vent hole is like that 1.6. So my plan is just to go for the 1.6, put that in, see how it runs, make sure it locks open, see what the ejection pattern looks like, and then all is well, put some anti-seize on that screw, get it down in there, 3 Newton meters, and then now go to the suppress setting. The suppress setting on this has just a wide open vent hole on the side as opposed to the front like this one does, the factory MR556 or 416. So this vents out the front. The new one also vents out the front per these tunable little screws. But then on the side, I'm just giving you a demonstration here. On the side, there's going to be another hole for the suppress setting that essentially just dumps a lot of gas out while running the suppressor so you're not overgassed. So I'm curious to see how this is going to run. It may be, with my setup with a flow-through can, that I'm already getting a lot of gas getting out the front. So I may not even need the suppress setting because it's now maybe too much gas and it doesn't run reliably. So yet to be seen. I still like the option. I still like the tunability there. So you're probably thinking, well, it's kind of a waste then if you're not really using both settings. Well, I mean, maybe. But you know, it's just a little cool feature to run on the 416 and update it to that more A5 style gas block. All right, so I want to show you real quick. Down in there, in the front of the adjustable gas block, is going to be where you put the screw in. Screw that in, can off, see how it runs. So let's do that now. There's one that comes pre-installed in this. The one that comes pre-installed is a 1.0 millimeter. So I'm going to start with that and see what it's like, but I know I'm going to have to get up to the 1.6 anyway, and just see how it goes. So, see how it runs. Okay, so 1.0 millimeter did lock open. Ejection pattern was about, looks like it's about 3,330. Let's run a few more like that, because if the 1.0 is going to work and it's not over gas, then I'm okay with that. Locked open. Watching the ejection pattern, it was about 3:34. It was about 4 o'clock actually. The more forward you go, 12, 1, 2, the more gas you're getting. 3, 4, 5, the less gas you're getting. So the bolt carrier speed is reduced, which is what I want. Now I'm curious. Let's put the can on quick, and then just change it to suppressed setting, how it runs. All right, can is on. Now we're on the N setting still. We got to change this, swap it over to S. And you can see on the S setting, hopefully you can see that. Now this gun, I'm only setting it up really, I'm running it suppressed full time. There's not going to be a time I'm really not running it suppressed. But in the event that I want to or need to, I want to make sure it's running well and it's not, you know, too overgassed or too undergassed. So it's going to live on the suppressed setting. So let's hope that this works. Let's watch the ejection pattern here. Ooh, not enough. Not enough with the can. Wow. Now, interesting turn of events. So what that may mean, I can't use the gas dump S setting because the back pressure on the flow-through can, it's not giving me enough. I mean, it barely, that round barely dribbled out. Okay, let's move it back to no suppressor. See what that's like. See what that looks like. So that worked, and it was about 3:30. Man, it almost is like, for me in my application, running a flow-through can, I didn't necessarily need the adjustable gas block. However, I like it. I like having the adjustable gas block. You're probably thinking, oh, it's a waste of money. Now, again, listen. HK stuff, we know, is not cheap. It's not a cheap endeavor to get into. This whole kit you get with all the adjustment screws, the tool itself, the directions, the block itself, it's like $600. Now, in the scheme of things, it is next to impossible to find an actual German A5 gas block. You know, you can get an MR223 that's going to have that on there, but MR223 is, again, rare, super expensive. So if you got an MR556 and you still want that look, you're doing a clone look, this is what you need for the newer style A5 plus, you know, gas blocks. Something else to note, it's really only recommended for use on an 11-inch barrel and above, because on the 416Ds, the 10.4, 10.3, those that, you know, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half, whatever barrels, that gas block sits out in front of where the end of that barrel is. So it might be in the way of, you know, a suppressor, it might be in the way of, you know, the threads, whatever muzzle device you put on there. So as you can see on this guy, my barrel is an 11. So when I cut mine down, I wanted it to be 11 because I wanted just like a standard 416. Not planning on doing something like this, but you can see it sits, you know, outside the standard handguard, the Geisley handguard, but below where the 11-inch barrel ends. So you could probably make it work on the, you know, the 10.2, 10.3, 10.4 inch barrels. It just might be tight. With this gas block that Black Ops is selling, you know, there's some upgraded features versus the new one, like that the adjuster piece is titanium versus I think steel. So you're really getting a quality piece here. And again, even if you're not going to use it, I think it's good to have if you're going for that clone look. You need it for a clone look, but again, it's a preference. Do you have to have it? Do you want it? It is what it is. Let's take some more shots, see how it goes. Just going to run no suppressor with the standard 1.0. See what the ejection pattern looks like. Again, just watch the ejection pattern. And maybe go up to the 1.6. Here we go. About 3:30, 4 o'clock. Probably about 4 o'clock. Locked open. Just for fun, let's see what the 1.6 does. Easy, quick change. I mean, it took me all of 30 seconds to change. So, let's see what the 1.6 looks like. See what the ejection pattern looks like. And, yeah, let's do it. About the same again. About 3:30-ish. Maybe not as... man. Ooh, it didn't lock open, though. Ooh, it didn't lock open. Let's try it again. So the 1.0 might be the sweet spot. The ejection pattern didn't look too hard. It looked kind of soft. I mean, it wasn't flying out of there crazy. All right, let's see what happens here again. Here we go. It locked open that time. And again, I'm at about 4 o'clock. Here's the problem. I wouldn't want it to not lock open. So, if I keep having this problem on the 1.6, then I would go back to the 1.0. Because I think the step up, there's no in between. I'm pretty sure we can check that. Yeah, so there's no step up. And I'll show you this paper. There's no step up between the 1.0 and the 1.6. So, yeah, so it's either 1.0 or 1.6. I don't want to go down any lower than that because I know that the 1.0 works. It held open that time. Held open that time. Now, okay. Let's change it over to suppress. Now, the screw that's in here, it's not going to matter if I'm on the suppress setting. I think we know it doesn't work, but we'll try it again. Put the suppressor on and see what happens. Mess with it a little bit. See if running it on the no suppress setting, and with the can on, changes. The ejection pattern changes. Is it now too much gas? Will it not operate? You know, that could be where I need to be. I need to go back to that 1.0 because I don't have gas escaping through the vent, but also gas escaping through the silencer, not getting enough back into the system to operate the gun effectively, efficiently, and, you know, with no failure. So let's try that. All right, here we go. Can is on, still on the no suppress setting. See how this goes. Damn, it felt like 3 o'clock. That was like a really even ejection pattern. 3. It was up more than it was before. It said 3:30, 4 o'clock. Now it was more even. You can probably see that on the video. Throw it on the suppress setting. Nope, not enough. Here we go. Let's try it again here. I mean, really, I feel like it's a toss-up between the 1.6 and 1.0. That was pretty even, guys. I think I'll just stay with the 1.6. 1.0 was fine. It definitely felt like it sped up. It certainly sped up the action because the rounds were ejecting. It seemed like they were ejecting out of the gun harder than just that. They weren't necessarily flying as far. I can see where they're landing off camera. They're still in that general area, but there's more gas leaving, so it's not coming out as hard. The 1.0 is back in. Running with the can on the no suppress setting. Let's see what that ejection pattern looks like. Just quick back to back. I'll throw it in. See what we can see here. Here we go. That was, I had some go directly over the camera, hitting the mic, and right over there. So I'm getting more back pressure in the system. I guess really the question is, it locked open. Do I want just a little more gas? Just to give me that peace of mind that I won't have any failures to grab that last round, even though I didn't have any failures to grab the last round here with running the can. More gas is better than not enough gas. Even if I'm running crazy hot, it's still going to run. It's just going to give me more wear and tear on my gun long term. So not enough gas is a problem. Too much gas is a problem. I'm trying to find a happy medium. I think for me and my setup, 11-inch barrel with this can, my particular setup, again, for you, you're going to have to play around with this. Depending on what can you're using, a traditional blowback can is certainly going to give you more gas in the system, so that suppressed setting is going to do more for you. Guys, I completely forgot. I got my Omega 36M here with me today. It's set up for a 308 right now, so 308 size, like, end cap on here. However, this still should give me an idea on suppressed setting how this is going to do. So this is the traditional baffle setup. Let's throw this on there and see what happens. All right, here we go. Suppressed setting, so dumping gas. Omega 36M, long configuration. Yeah, see how it goes. Watch the ejection pattern here. Guys, I'm changing my original assessment of, in my mind, what I think this is good for, or for you, if this should be a product that you should get. I would say, originally I was going to say, if you're running a flow-through can, then the adjustable gas setting is not going to matter to you because you should already have your gas port tuned. You don't necessarily need it. You're running a flow-through. But there's still a lot of baffle cans out there. And if for whatever reason you're switching cans, now you can run it reliably. Any setup. So yes, my answer to you, if you're wondering, is yes. This is a must-have upgrade for your MR556 if you're chopping it down, and probably even just if you left it in 16-inch barrel configuration, because now you're putting a suppressor on that, you can still mess with that tunability there with the different portholes and suppressed versus unsuppressed. So yes, now I know for sure that depending on what can I'm running, I can run any can, flow-through or straight blowback baffles, old-school style cans, and use both settings. Blowback cans, got to run it on suppressed. Flow-through cans, got to run it on not suppressed. I recommend this product. For sure, if you're looking for it, Black Ops Defense carries it. Check those guys out. Again, small run batches. So if you're going to get it, because who knows how long it'll be before they get more in again. So all right, guys, don't forget, Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.